Hi, my name's Clem Sturgis from Signature Floors. I'm here today on behalf of Online Flooring to have a talk to you about our timber flooring ranges. To me, are the things that I'm really passionate about. At Signature, we tried to develop timber ranges that have a real point of difference over other things available in the market. So we came up with 2 categories with 5 ranges. The first category was Oak de France, which is a made in France product, and the others are the Maison categories, which are made for the European market as well. We wanted to emphasise quality over cheapness, to be honest, because there's many ways you can make a timber floor cheaper. The first one is to the amount of what we call nested board. So if your product is, say, 1.8 metres long, a nested board in a pack is a board that's a shorter length. So you might have 6 spacings in your pack, and 1, 2, 3 of those spacings may be made up of half-length boards or boards that are 1/3 length and 2/3 lengths. So that's something we've done and kept at an absolute minimum in our products. The other thing to look out for is the face grading of the veneer. Now, the face grading of the veneer is really down to personal preference. In the European market, they talk in letters of A through to D, A, B, C, D, E grade floors, or veneers, sorry. That in itself doesn't refer to the quality of the floor, but rather the visual grading, as each oak tree will get A through to E grade veneers in it, and it just really refers to the face grading. But what that means to you, in as far as when you're putting it on your floor, is how it looks, and that really is beauty's in the eye of the beholder there. So the first one is the Paris Oak range. The Paris Oak is a French oak made product. So the French oak classification can only be applied to 2 particular species of oak tree that are harvested out of 2 forests in France. And why that's important is it means that from batch to batch you gain a greater uniformity of colour than you do out of European oak. So European oak can be harvested from any species of oak that is grown in Europe, from any market in Europe. And taking the same 2 trees and putting them in 2 different environments gives you 2 different results because they're a natural product. With the Paris oak, you're getting that consistency or greater uniformity to the product batch to batch to batch. It's never going to be exactly the same because you're dealing with natural trees, but you get a greater uniformity. The Paris oak contains none of those nested boards that I talked about earlier. So the product is 1.98 metres long, and every single board you will ever encounter will be 1.98 metres long. There's no such thing as a short board in this product. Additionally, it has a different core type to other timber floors. It uses a high density fibre core, which is similar to what you're using in an upper market laminate. What that allows the product to do is be put into greater rafts or greater areas of floor without having to break the floor and transition it than you would with other floors that have either a whitewood like a hevea or a spruce or a pine core or a ply core. So the HDF holds its shape better, and regardless of what people say, it is actually a far more moisture resistant product than what is in the core of your other timber floors. So Paris oak represents an absolutely beautiful quality product. As you can see on this, it's a very, very clean grade of floor. There's not a whole lot in the way of feature and knots, and it's what we describe as an ABC grade veneer. Then we move into our Maison category. So we've got several different points in our Maison category. The first one is our Rustique, and it's really more of an entry-level product. As I mentioned before with the face grading, this one uses, we've described it as a lower or a character grade veneer. So you'll get these big lines or putty areas in there where they fill the floor. And a lot of people like that look, and some people don't. So it really becomes about, again, beauty being in the eye of the beholder. The difference between a product like, say, our Rustique and our Moderne range, the Moderne and the Rustique are exactly the same product. This one using a character grade veneer and this one using a higher grade veneer. So it's not like this product is cheaper and is a throwaway product. It's exactly the same product, but just using a different veneer grading for whatever your personal preference is. If you like the cleaner grade floor, you'd go for a product like the Moderne. If you like the rustic grade floor, you might choose something like the Rustique. Both of them, the nested board ratio again is quite low. We advertise a maximum of 1 nested board per pack. However, in products like the Moderne, it's far, far less than that. You might encounter 1 nested board per 5 packs. In the market, many of our competitors have at least 2 nested board spacings per pack, some use up to 3. And it makes the product a lot cheaper because trees don't conform to the box size that we put them in. So there's the Rustique and the Moderne, 2 sort of starting products. And then we go into our really heavily featured products like the Saint Germain and the Limoges. So the Saint Germain and the Limoges both feature handcrafted surfaces where everything on this board is done by hand. So all of these little putty marks, everything on it has been left three-dimensional by design. So for example, in a product like Rustique, the putty is sanded flat at the top of the board. In a product like Saint Germain, the guys who produce it actually cut channels into the board, fill it with putty and then wipe it out and leave it so that you can feel this three-dimensionality to it. They also, both of these feature what's called a smoked veneer, and you'll see that the colour variation through that is a lot more intense than these products here. And when they smoke the veneer, they release a chemical into a chamber which reacts with what's called tannin inside the wood. And the tannin is unevenly displaced through the wood, so you get this mottling of colour through the board. So you get this really intense sort of rustic look that a lot of other products can't offer you. In addition to that, once that's all done, they put different colour washes over top of the board to give it a really nice warm look. And then they take a heavy wire brush over the top of it to give it like a really nice three-dimensional effect. So the difference between the Saint Germain, which I've just shown you, and the Limoges, which is, we refer to as its big brother, same process to make it, but the Limoges uses at the end a heavier grade wire brush, and then they hand cut the beveling into the edge of this board. So all the others, the bevel on the edge of the board, which is the little drop you see between the boards, is done by a machine. This one here, it's actually hand carved with a chisel by the guy on site. So each of these floors is there to offer a point of difference and really to give you a unique look to whatever your home might be.